Hello and welcome to Stamford Bridge, where we have Chelsea against Everton live and in full from West London. Chelsea looking to try and show some consistency and to bounce back from their midweek defeat in the Champions League to Atalanta. Alongside me for this one is Mark Schwarzer. Mark, we'll get to the team news in a minute, but first of all, Chelsea again perhaps showing that Jekyll and Hyde side of things when you look at the creditable draw with Arsenal when they played with 10 men for an hour. Then it was fairly flat against Bournemouth, and then the defeat in Italy to Atalanta. What Chelsea are we likely to see tonight?
Well, we hope one that will improve upon the recent results. Of course, inconsistency has been a big problem for them. No win in their last 4 games in all competition is a concern. And I think, yeah, you're right. The performance against Arsenal, I think a couple of weeks ago was really good. And then from there, they've kind of struggled a little bit. Consistency has been one of those things I think has plagued Chelsea for some time. We felt that over the summer with the Club World Cup that they'd kind of overcome that. But unfortunately this season, and I think also off the back of the Club World Cup, that the ramifications, the excerpts of that tournament, I think we're seeing still at the moment with this Chelsea side.
Well, Chelsea make 4 changes from the defeat at Atalanta in midweek, bringing in a previously rested Cole Palmer. Malo Gusto, Wesley Fofana and Alejandro Garnacho also come in for the Blues. Everton, just the one alteration for them with Idrissa Gana Gueye after he completed his 3-match suspension. He is in to the side. So they look like this Chelsea with Robert Sanchez in goal, Cucurella, Chalobah, Fofana and Gusto. Across the back it's Enzo Fernandez and Reece James in central midfield, with Garnacho, Palmer and Neto supporting João Pedro. Everton with Jordan Pickford in goal, Mikalenko, Keane, Tarkowski and O'Brien across the back. Gay and Garner sitting in their midfield too. Grealish, Dewsbury Hall and Iliman Ndiaye supporting Tierno Barry. A lot of the pre-match chat, especially when you look at Chelsea, involves the number of changes that Enzo Maresca has made, and that's in contrast really to Everton, where you really know what you're going to get week in, week out with David Moyes.
Yeah, you do. I mean, Everton have been fantastic, haven't they? David Moyes' return to the club has been exceptional. They've won, 4 wins in the last 6 Premier League games, and they've kept clean sheets, they've scored goals. It's an Everton side that has been revitalised, new identity. The transition into their new stadium has been seamless, and they look like a side very much on the up.
So it is Chelsea who get the game underway, kicking from right to left in the first half. Everton actually have it now with Jordan Pickford, who spins it long upfield. Everton in their change strip this afternoon of cream shirts, black shorts and black socks. Grealish with his very luminous orange boots on that left-hand side for the Toffees as the ball bounces off a Everton player last and bounces harmlessly behind for a goal kick, which Robert Sanchez will take. Our referee today, by the way, is Thomas Bramall, and he has awarded the goal kick, which Robert Sanchez is over and is set to take for Chelsea. So live commentary here for you on Sports Extra of Chelsea against Everton, Liverpool against Brighton over on 5 Live. Mohamed Salah on the bench again. Plenty to talk about on 606 later on this afternoon, as Jordan Pickford bowls the ball out from inside his penalty area, gets good distance on it, and it's with Jake O'Brien on halfway. Quick exchange of passes between him and Ndiaye. Cucurella has gone to shut off the gap, and the ball has spun back onto the halfway line, where Idrissa Gueye has it once again for Everton, who will just build out from the back. Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, I mean, it's the start that we expected, really. I mean, Everton have been really comfortable under control at the moment. Obviously, Chelsea are doing their best to try and put as much pressure on them as possible, but they've been also at times direct. That's what Everton do really well. They're not afraid to mix it up. They will play out at the back if they can. If not, they're not afraid to go long, and they're always keeping the opposition guessing. So for Chelsea, it's a challenge. It really is. A side that likes to have a lot of possession, and they've got to be careful about not being caught out on that counter football.
So Chelsea have it with Sanchez inside his penalty area. 2 minutes on the clock. Chelsea unbeaten in their last 30 Premier League home games against Everton. That's some run, 17 wins, 13 draws. It's their longest unbeaten home run against a single opponent in their entire league history, while only at Leeds have Everton had a longer run without success, so it is a very unhappy hunting ground for the Toffees, but their fans have still travelled in numbers down to London this afternoon. Goalless with 2.5 minutes played.
I believe David Moyes has never won here at Stamford
Correct.
Bridge either,
Yep.
which is an interesting fact. But you know what, facts, they're stats, that's fine. But this Everton side's a different side to the ones of the past, so I think all the gloves are off, and Chelsea are going to have to play well to beat them.
I was actually at Old Trafford where David Moyes ended his long wait for a win there as an opposing manager in the Premier League with Everton, with Dewsbury Hall's goal after that crazy red card for Idrissa Gana Gueye. So he's already ended one long wait for a victory at one of the big grounds as a manager this season. Can he achieve another here this afternoon? 3 minutes gone, 0-0. Cucurella in the centre circle for Chelsea. Finds the feet of Reece James. Gay goes to close him down, but it's with Wesley Fofana now. Cole Palmer back in the side after being rested, and just plays a languid sort of pass into the halfway circle where Wesley Fofana has got it forwards, and now Enzo Fernandez to João Pedro. Left-hand side, Garnacho's low ball in, deflected behind off Tarkowski for the first corner of the game.
Yeah, it was a good little play down the left-hand side from Chelsea. Garnacho there, he looked up, he saw the run of Cole Palmer darting across the penalty area. He was heavily marked though, but the ball unfortunately for Chelsea just couldn't quite get to him, and there was a final kind of touch from an Everton player that leads to the corner.
So it is a corner kick for Chelsea, which is swung into a good area, and Pickford backpedaling is asking for it to be given as a goal kick, and indeed Thomas Bramble says it came off Marc Cucurella last, so it will be a goal kick for Everton.
Those balls are so difficult to deal with. They're sort of floated in, not with a real lot of height, but into that near post area. I actually think Keane gets the final touch on that, so Everton a little bit fortunate. Cucurella looks for the touch, a little flick onto that near post area, and it just goes over his hair.
Well, Ekitike has given Liverpool the lead after 48 seconds against Brighton at Anfield. That's the other 3 o'clock kickoff in the Premier League at 5:30. Full commentary for you of Burnley against Fulham on 5 Live, and 5 Live's Premier League Sunday will be across all of the action tomorrow, with 4 2 o'clock kickoffs, and then Brentford against Leeds United rounding things off. But Liverpool 1, Brighton 0, the latest score in the other 3 o'clock Premier League game. Here is Njai looking for a bit of space by the edge of the Chelsea penalty area, and he's carved out the first Everton corner of the game, which cues a roar from the fans away to our left-hand side.
Yeah, they've got a real threat, don't they, Everton on both wings, and Jai coming inside onto his left foot, you know, threw a couple of dummies, always wanted it on his left foot, and he was looking to try and whip it to that far post area. Wesley Fofana was aware to the danger. He came out, big block, arms behind his back, comes off him, and that's where they get the corner from.
So corner kick for Everton, and they have been pretty handy from set pieces themselves this season, both in terms of defending them and also attacking prowess. Nicked in towards the near post, but Cucurella is able to get his head to it, so it's away as far as the figure of Mikolenko, the Ukrainian left back who waits for the return pass. Everyone inside the Chelsea half at the moment, still 0-0 with nearly 6 minutes played at Stamford Bridge. Dewsbury Hall pops it wide to Jack Grealish. Grealish steadies himself and then spins it to the left hand side again. Low flat ball in is cleared by Wesley Fofana at the edge of the 6-yard box, but Everton have got possession back with Mikolenko, and that's a useful pass towards the edge of the penalty area. Garner spinning and hitting, and it's deflected and comes through to Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of room in that line there, the back line there. Chelsea at one stage they had 7 players in one line marking Everton players. There was not a lot of space. They needed height on the delivery into the box. Everton chose to go low, and it was easily intercepted.
So still 0-0 between Chelsea and Everton here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea winless in their last 3 Premier League matches, having won 5 of their previous 6. The only longer winless run they've had under Enzo Maresca came at around this time last season, when they went 5 without registering a victory, and that has been the nature of Enzo Maresca's reign generally, not just this term, but they get going and people start to talk about them as potential title challengers, and then all of a sudden they fade away and they could find themselves dumped into mid-table.
There's always that pressure, isn't there? I mean, Chelsea have obviously over the last couple of months, certainly the Club World Cup were excelled, played exceptionally well in the final against PSG. Obviously winning the Conference League was, in the end, second half performance was outstanding against Betis Seville. And then you kind of felt like, is this the Chelsea side now that's coming of age? Can they kick on? And unfortunately, I think the excerpts of the summer in particular are definitely taking its toll.
Across London, Millwall are now trailing by a goal to nil at home to Hull. Kyle Joseph with the early strike for the Tigers in that one. 0-0, and yet to really get going at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Everton, but that will suit Everton down to the ground, who could rise into the Champions League places with a victory here this afternoon against a team that will expect Champions League qualification at the bare minimum, although Chelsea's chances of qualifying from the large league phase table directly took a bit of a blow with that defeat to Atalanta late on in midweek in Bergamo. They've got themselves a free kick here just inside the Everton half, taken short by Malo Gusto into the centre circle, and Reece James square to Marc Cucurella. He pops it near side to Alejandro Garnacho, who has been one of the more reliable performers in their recent sticky patch, if you can call it that. It's with Fofana now out to Cole Palmer. Palmer cuts in on his left foot and picks out a cross, but doesn't pick out anyone in a blue shirt, and it bounces through to Jordan Pickford. Yeah,
I'm not quite sure who he was aiming for there. I don't know whether it was Joel Pedro he was looking for, making a sort of a run in towards a penalty area, or Enzo Fernandez making a late one. We see him do so often, coming up late into that box, and it was just in the end a sort of aimless sort of cross which was easy to take for Pickford.
And Jai, that's a very useful pass towards the right side, and Jake O'Brien, who is closed down by Cucurella, good thundering challenge from the Spaniard into him, and then he's got a bit of afters for the assistant referee on this near side. I think he's unhappy with O'Brien's challenge on him, but it's going to be a throw rather than a free kick.
Yeah, it was a coming together, and I think O'Brien is just literally a millisecond late, and it kind of just catches Cucurella around the shins area, and he's still complaining to the linesman right now.
Yeah, he's still chuntering Cucurella with the score 0-0, 10 minutes gone at Stamford Bridge. The throw comes to nothing, and Dewsbury Hall tries to get onto the second ball for Everton. Gay's got to be careful for Everton because he had Garnacho breathing down his neck. It's squared to Mikalenko, can work it wide to Jack Grealish, always keen to receive the ball. Jack Grealish, can't miss him this afternoon with those luminous orange boots that he is wearing. It's now switched by Grealish from the left to the right hand side, and Idrissa Gana Gueye finds Iliman Ndiaye, who's found himself in a bit of a tangle with Trevor Chalobah and a bit of pinball on the left hand side as Chelsea look at things. Has seen the ball come back to the Chelsea defender Trevor Chalobah. Now Reece James, who shuffles it across to Malo Gusto. All of this still deep in Chelsea territory. They're over the halfway line now with Pedro Neto, and he's motoring forwards the Portuguese. Two players go across to close him down. One of them is Grealish, and Grealish sticks out a boot, wins the ball. It's back with Ghana, and Everton have possession. Yeah, just too much then for Pedro Neto. Had, three Everton players in front of him, tried to take them all on. Should have looked to try and lay it off. 1-2 maybe in behind. Tried to do too much on his own. It's Mark Schwarzer with us on Sports Extra, live commentary of Chelsea against Everton, goalless with 11 minutes played at Stamford Bridge. Everton have won 4 of their last 5 Premier League matches, keeping a clean sheet in all of those wins. Since David Moyes' first game back in charge in January, only Manchester City, Arsenal and Chelsea have more Premier League wins without conceding than Everton do. That really is his trademark across his managerial career. They are generally tight, defensively drilled wins. He's not really a 5-4 or a 4-3 type of guy.
No, they're not. But they're still scoring goals, aren't they? They're scoring a few, more goals than you kind of typically see from a David Moyes sides. I think if you look at Ndiaye, Jack Grealish, that threat from out wide, Dewsbury Hall through the middle. I mean, there have been a massive addition. I mean, Ndiaye was obviously there last season, but certainly Dewsbury Hall and Grealish, I think, added real balance to this Everton side.
0-0 with just 11 minutes played. Leicester 1, Ipswich 0. Bobby Decordova-Reid with the early goal for Leicester at the King Power. And it's still Liverpool leading against Brighton by 1-0 in the other 3 o'clock Premier League game. Malo Gusto pops it wide to Pedro Neto. Neither side have really clicked into gear as of yet in the early stages. Neto with a lovely crossfield sweep to pick out Garnacho, scampering to keep it in, not quite able to do so. Alejandro Garnacho on the left wing, he sped down there, he got to the ball, but it just had too much juice on it for him to be able to prevent it rolling over the byline.
Yeah, in the end, it was a pretty good ball. It was just slightly too far in front of Garnacho to keep it in. It was a difficult one for him, right on the edge of the pitch. For Everton, I think they've been nice and compact. They've seemingly, they're very difficult to break down, and they're not really rushing in and in. They're not trying to put too many. They're not diving in on challenges. They're keeping their positioning really well.
It's interesting when you look at that run of 4 wins from 5 league games for Everton. They'd won only 3 of their opening 10 this season, so certainly building a bit of momentum, but this will be a concern for them at the moment with Dewsbury Hall down.
Yeah, it's sort of an interesting one. He looks like he's in quite a bit of pain, actually, and I don't know from what. We haven't really seen a challenge that maybe affected his injury, but he doesn't look happy.
Well, he's been in such fine form for Everton, Keane and Dewsbury Hall. Their joint top scorer this season with 4 goals. Also has 2 Premier League assists to his name. Has scored in 3 of Everton's last 4 Premier League games. It's his best ever scoring run in the top division. Up on his feet now, the former Chelsea man, of course, so perhaps with a bit of a point to prove. It never really took off for him here. And Everton looking to their bench and perhaps looking to make a change already with less than 15 minutes gone. And what a shame this is for Keane and Dewsbury Hall. He gets an arm round the shoulder from Reece James and a pat on the head as he heads off, and actually gets a very warm reception from the Stamford Bridge crowd as well, Keane and Dewsbury Hall, and it looks as though it might be his hamstring.
Yeah, he seems to be it looks like his hamstring, really high up. His hamstring he's holding on to, and I think the minute you feel that, tweak it or anything like that, it's so you can't continue. There's too much danger that you'll make it far worse, but also it's just impossible to play with a bad hamstring. So
off comes Keane and Dewsbury Hall, and Everton get their replacement ready. We're still waiting for the board to be raised. It is actually going to be Carlos Alcaraz who steps in for Keane and Dewsbury Hall as Chelsea have it with Reece James. Arced ball forwards for Pedro Neto to chase. Pickford's come a long way out of this area very quickly and hammers the ball almost over the stand, although it's just dropped out of play, so it's going to be a throw to Chelsea just inside Everton territory, and here comes Carlos Alcaraz now replacing Keane and Dewsbury Hall. It's a big setback when you think about what a big part he has been for them of late with those goals and assists he's been chipping in with. He's in a real purple patch, Keane and Dewsbury Hall, so that's going to really test Everton's rejigging ability.
Yeah, that's a big setback for them. Real disappointment. I mean, he's always such a threat. Dewsbury Hall, like you said, his form has been excellent for Everton. So, unfortunately for him, his day is over.
Carlos Alcaraz looking to try and take advantage of being afforded the opportunity. Minutes have been tough for him to come by. So, he will get a fair amount of them today, you would have thought, as it's with Trevor Chalobah for Chelsea. Square pass to Marc Cucurella. Chelsea in possession with João Pedro on halfway, dabbed out to this near side, and Garnacho, bit of a heavy touch from him, allows O'Brien to step in. O'Brien then runs into João Pedro, a bit scrappy on halfway. Iliman Ndiaye rolling Marc Cucurella, felt he was dragged back, and the referee took his time there. Ndiaye went to ground, he waited a few seconds, Thomas Bramall, but has given Everton the free kick.
Yeah, I think the fourth official's given that. He's standing right there next to the touchline. You can see David Moyes obviously was remonstrating with the referee regarding the foul, but I actually think it also was a foul. There was enough in there for a foul for on Ndiaye. He was off, otherwise he could have easily been through.
Hull have doubled their lead at Millwall. They are now 2-0 up. Kyle Joseph again. So going well for Hull at Millwall, who have been doing so well in the Championship under Alex Neil this season. Will be a free kick for Everton just inside their own half. Tarkowski with the big sweep across field looking for Jack Grealish. It's cut out by Pedro Neto. João Pedro getting back to help out his Chelsea defence. Carlos Alcaraz though on the scene quickly. Alcaraz darting towards a cluster of blue players, and now he's popped it towards the left hand side, and Jack Grealish, who takes the tumble and gets the free kick.
Yeah, it's a silly foul from Pedro Neto. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever he needs to go in like that. Malo Gusto is shimmering Grealish into the corner. Pedro Neto comes from the halfway line and just barges into him. It's just needless, pointless challenge. Now it gives Everton a dangerous free kick, 10 yards away from the byline, right near the corner flag. Opportunity to whip it in.
Thomas Tuchel in attendance this afternoon here at Stamford Bridge. Another with Chelsea connections, of course. Former Blues boss, as free kick is whipped in from the left-hand side, and Sanchez decided to stay, and the ball came off a Chelsea head last and goes behind for an Everton corner.
Tell you what, Robert Sanchez was the coolest man on the pitch there. I was sitting here thinking that's going to hit the crossbar, and it's just missed it on the roof of the net. He was right underneath it, so you got a great view of it. But yeah, a little bit hairy there.
So it will be another set-piece chance for Everton, and James Garner is going to be the man to bend this in. In fact, it's a short one to Jack Grealish, which caught Chelsea napping a little bit. Grealish has Cole Palmer in attendance, trying to prevent him getting the cross in. They thought about running the overlap, but Grealish eventually does get the cross in towards the far post. Tarkowski across, and it could easily have been swept in by one of the Everton players that was loitering on the edge of the 6-yard box. That was a bit of a close call for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Barry takes a bit of a swing at it. Fofana's put his head quite low, so I think it was one of those, a 50-50. His head was quite low, his foot was not really raised, so it was a half a chance. That it was a decent block from Fofana in the end.
Not the most convincing Chelsea defending, you would say, as Iliman Ndiaye has it and has Malo Gusto closing him down. The ball is whipped in dangerously towards the penalty spot region. O'Brien was in there. This is a good passage of play for Everton at the moment. Still 0-0 with just under 20 minutes played at Stamford Bridge, and they have lost Keane and Dewsbury Hall to injury. Carlos Alcaraz, his replacement. Tarkowski's made a real hash of a straightforward pass inside the Chelsea half, but has got away with it because Chelsea have given it away to Garner. Now it's Ndiaye into the area. Iliman Ndiaye's effort low, and well, Jake O'Brien could have caused a problem for Robert Sanchez there, because the shot didn't have much power on it, but he was in the way, jumped out of the way, could have distracted the keeper, but it was an easy save.
I think Chelsea are very, very lucky there. Firstly, you could see that there was an opportunity. Enzo Fernandez has a great opportunity to lay it off, play it into the path of Cole Palmer, or even Garnacho here on the left-hand side. There would have been 3 against 2 Chelsea, and attacking Everton, they would have been obviously darting back to get into position. Instead, he plays it straight to an Everton player, and that's where that chance comes for Everton.
So Chelsea living a little dangerously here against Everton, although it is still 0-0. Cucurella with the headed pass forwards to Garnacho. On halfway now with Reece James, who plays it short to Fofana. Fofana inside the centre circle. Now he's motoring forwards, and it slipped through here. Chance, goal! And it's Cole Palmer back in business. Trademark celebration from him after a trademark Cole Palmer finish. Raced onto the through ball, took it in his stride and lashed it beyond Jordan Pickford and in. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Cole Palmer.
Yeah, good finish from Cole Palmer. He's played through one-on-one with Jordan Pickford, and it just never looked like missing it. He just picks his spot and rifles it into the back of the net. The ball through was a good ball, good pace on it. Everton, though, just opened up. Poor defending. Wasn't like there was a spectacular ball or something individually. It was brilliant that actually occurred. It was Everton who just opened up, and Cole Palmer's perfectly timed run. He's the one that gets on the end of it and makes no mistake.
So midway through the first half, Cole Palmer breaks the deadlock. Lovely ball from Malo Gusto to split the Everton defence, although the defending itself was slack to say the least. And Cole Palmer onside and into the net. That really was such a ruthlessly efficient finish.
Yeah, the ball from Gusto was good. It was a good ball, perfectly weighted. Like I said, Everton's defending, definitely question marks about it, and disappointing to concede that way.
Well, when you think about how they've won their games, it has been via clean sheets, but not going to have one this afternoon. Chelsea, though, have dropped more points from winning positions in Premier League home games than any other side this season, 8 in total. Already 1 more point than they dropped at home across all of last season. And that goal came slightly against the run of play, and they could be in again, Chelsea. João Pedro, centre field, weaves it to Garnacho, edge of the area. Garnacho's hit just over the angle of crossbar and post.
Yeah, I think it was a wrong option. It really was. I think the ball should have gone to the right side. Palmer's there, Neto's there. Instead he goes for Garnacho on the left-hand side, and Garnacho had only one thought on his head, was actually go out the outside of the Everton defender and have a shot at goal, and he's actually quite wayward. Players in the box could have easily have whipped it in, and I think that was a missed opportunity for Chelsea.
So Everton get away with that one midway through the first half at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Cole Palmer's goal the difference. Keane plays it short to Mikolenko. Left-sided defences. Everton look at it, and Carlos Alcaraz with a back pass given straight to Garnacho, who has missed an open goal. Well, an awful error and an awful miss from Garnacho. Should be 2-0 Chelsea.
Wow, what a miss from Garnacho. I tell you what, he's really good to react. It's a poor ball from Alcaraz. As Garnacho makes the reaction, he takes a touch, he rounds Jordan Pickford. He still has time to actually take another couple of steps. Instead he rushes it, tries to swivel and stroke it into the back of the net. Instead he just puts it wide. What a miss for Chelsea.
So it's with Tarkowski for Everton. Square to Keane, who sweeps it to Jack Grealish, again hugging that left touchline. Malo Gusto in attendance though, nicks the ball off him and sends it out for an Everton throw. We're just seeing a replay of the finish from Cole Palmer once again, and well, there's that celebration of his as well, just wrapping his arms around himself and rubbing himself down. The cold Cole Palmer finish, and it was an ice cold finish. Everton have got Iliman and Njai now down on the deck. They've already lost Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. I don't think Njai's too bad, because he is sort of gingerly getting back to his feet and gets a few ironic jeers from the Chelsea fans who are doubting that he was too hurt in the first place anyway. O'Brien has got Enzo Fernandez putting him under pressure, and enough pressure to force him to put it out of play for a throw to Chelsea, as Njai is going to be checked on by Thomas Bramall.
I think it's a foul. It's a foul on Njai. What happens is Robert Sanchez gets the ball from his right-hand side. He looks to play it first time out to Cucurella on the left. And as he does it, he slightly under hits it. Cucurella then tries to swivel and turn and hit it with his left up the pitch, and he misses the ball completely, because Njai comes in off his blind side and he collects Njai on the follow-through on his knee. That's why Njai goes down. The referee just allows play to go on. I don't think the referee has a good view of it. Otherwise, for me, that's definitely a foul.
Mark Schwarzer with us on 5 Sports Extra, where it's Chelsea 1, Everton 0, 25 minutes gone. Garnacho has O'Brien trying to stand him up as he goes down that left wing, and O'Brien has done his job well, although Iliman Njai, who collected it off him, was dispossessed by Enzo Fernandez. No harm done though. Everton just need to recalibrate and reset after conceding that goal, because the Cole Palmer goal came when they were in a good moment, things were looking positive for them, and then no sooner did they concede than they nearly let in another straight away. Yeah,
they've just gotten a little bit scrappy, haven't they? They've kind of, obviously the goals have come from nothing. Disappointing way to concede a goal, and they've just lost their heads a little bit scrappy. They need to concentrate, focus a little bit more, get hold of the ball, be a bit tidier and a bit more careful with their distribution.
Chalobah for Chelsea, short to Mark Cucurella, left side of the pitch as Chelsea look at things, and now back in the central region with Wesley Fofana. Forwards ball from him to Malo Gusto. Now it's over halfway and into the feet of João Pedro. Really heavy touch though from João Pedro. The ball just ballooned off his boots, and Jack Grealish was able to pick it up, and he's then flattened by Cole Palmer, so Everton get the free kick. And Iliman Njai still not moving too well at the moment, but not in conversation with David Moyes at the moment about needing to seek any further assistance. Here is Idrissa Gana Gueye. Bad pass from him out to the left-hand side. Michael Keane didn't have any room really to work with, and Cole Palmer just shunted him out of play to ensure that the throw-in went Chelsea's way.
Yeah, it's another example of Everton just doing a little bit sloppy, a bit slow in their build-up. Passes a little bit astray, putting their own teammates under pressure. At times you think, just knock the ball into Chelsea's half, turn them, get in the corner. put them under a bit of pressure, relieve yourself from your own half, maybe try and win the ball higher up the park, because at the moment, trying to play out is not quite working for them.
Everton have failed to score in 27 different Premier League games against Chelsea, including all of the last 3 in a row. Only against Manchester United and Liverpool have they drawn a blank more often. And they've only had that one half-sighted goal when Sanchez made a pretty routine gather from a pot shot outside the area. Garner to Alcaraz, left side, and Mykolenko for Everton. His ball towards Tierney. Barry is overhit. Barry couldn't make it stick, so Chelsea will start again with Reece James just inside the Chelsea half. Enzo Fernandez now square to Gusto. Gusto rolls it further wide, and Pedro Neto. Neto infield to Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea patiently building without too much forward progress at the moment. In the centre circle with Fernandez, and now it's Cucurella, left back area. Reece James has collected the short pass. He's got Tristan Gay all over him from behind, and Reece James has lost his footing. Well, in fact, he seemed to have been fouled, which seemed like a bit of a soft one to me. Anyway, Chelsea quick to get on with it. Malo Gusto switches it to the far side. Pedro Neto now held up by Mykolenko. Infield to Cole Palmer, urged to have a hit from 20 yards. Into João Pedro instead. João Pedro pop wide to Pedro Neto. His floated cross. Enzo Fernandez's header didn't have enough heat on it, and it's easy for Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, decent ball from Neto into the box there. The problem was it's just a little bit floaty, wasn't it? Enzo Fernandez had to go backwards and try and put enough pressure on it. Just didn't get an opportunity to really throw his body behind it. It was a pretty simple catch for Jordan Pickford in the end.
Gillingham 1, Barrow 0, and Birmingham 1, Charlton 0. Two more latest scores for you, and there'll be a full roundup of all of the scores from up and down the country at half-time as the ball is in towards the far post for Chelsea. Jordan Pickford out to gather, and he's always quite full of expression, Jordan Pickford, when he's getting instructions out to his teammates, but he keeps on doing that sign where he's sort of waving his hand in a circle to say, come on, speed things up, let's get going. He's not satisfied with perhaps his options when he catches the ball, and he wants to get things moving quickly.
Yeah, it was a ball that was into his 6-yard box, middle of his 6-yard box. I expect him to come out and take that one. I'm not sure kind of why he's getting so animated. Maybe that's right, maybe that's because they're a little bit deep, Everton. The options were limited. At the moment there's a lot of frustration out there for Everton, because it's just, since that goal they've really struggled to find any sort of rhythm.
1-0 to Chelsea here against Everton with half an hour gone. Likewise 1-0 to Liverpool at Anfield. Here is Cucurella now, 25 yards out, rolls it to Pedro Neto, edge of the box, his first time effort, blocked by Garner. Good defending from James Garner to get his body in the way. Mykolenko's now gone down inside the area, holding his foot. Thomas Bramall's thought about stopping play and has now stopped play, which Chelsea and their fans are not best pleased about.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the 18-yard box, isn't he? So he's kind of like in the way. If Chelsea then do, I mean, they are in possession, they are in Everton's half, they make an attack. The only problem is, and I understand that Mykolenko gets up to his feet even before any medical attention comes, so he can't come off the pitch. Game's been stopped, slowed down, rhythm, momentum has been halted, and that's exactly what Everton need.
Yeah, Everton losing by 1-0 here. Liverpool leading by 1-0 at Anfield, and Mo Salah has come on from the bench already for Liverpool in that game, and that will be a talking point, and plenty of them on Match of the Day tonight. All of the goals from the 4 games in the Premier League, and then there's 5 Live's Premier League Sunday tomorrow, where we've got 4 2:00 kickoffs for you. Commentary on all of those games, as well as the 4:30 match between Brentford and Leeds United as well. That's an important one down towards the wrong end of the Premier League table. Cucurella up to Garnacho. The goal has certainly added a bit of a spring to Chelsea's step after they were looking a little bit rusty in the early exchanges. 32 minutes gone, 1-0 up, with Wesley Fofana now just shimmying his way towards the halfway line. It's with Pedro Neto. And again, he just waits for some closing down to happen before he opts to go back, and all the way back to Robert Sanchez. Sanchez with the disguised pass to the feet of Reece James. Now it's going to be brought forwards by Chalobah, motoring up the pitch inside to Reece James, and spun out to halfway, and Cole Palmer's pass down the right channel is good. João Pedro will chase, angle's tough, almost got it back to Garnacho. Good covering back though from Mikolenko, and it's with Jordan Pickford for Everton.
Yeah, Everton recovered really well. They needed to as well. You can see the run into the box was a good one. João Pedro does really well. His cutback was good. It was going straight to Garnacho. But the scrambling Everton defence got back in numbers and did their job.
Lovely ball from Alcaraz out wide to Jack Grealish. Grealish now into the area. A couple of players in front of him. The cross deflected behind by Fofana. That could have gone anywhere. Wesley Fofana stuck out a boot. It looped over Sanchez and over the crossbar.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Jack Grealish, watching him in flow. He gets a little bit of space, comes inside. He's got such tight control. No one really wants to get too close to him. They're worried about bringing him down. He puts it on his right, tries to whip it towards that far post area. Alcaraz was making a run. Fofana just manages to get his foot up in time, sort of like flicks it on his right foot, and it takes a touch off the top of it and goes out for a corner.
So corner kick for Everton, which Garner's going to take. Outswinger with 33 minutes gone at the bridge. Garner's delivery is good, and the clearing header from Fofana likewise for Chelsea, as Grealish is on the scene again, over on this right side now, and his exchange with Carlos Alcaraz allows Garner to put in a cross, which Chalobah is underneath to clear, and Iliman Ndiaye tries to get to the loose ball, and then Pedro Neto did get there first and was taken out, and Chelsea get themselves a free kick. Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, it's exactly what Everton needed to do. Idrissa Gueye there, unfortunately for him, Ndiaye gets a touch on the ball, it takes the ball away from him. Neto's able to pounce on it. His first touch takes it beyond Idrissa Gueye, and Idrissa Gueye just steps across and he just does a body check, has to, otherwise Chelsea are going to break.
Cucurella for Chelsea. Now back with Chalobah. Chalobah by the centre circle, as Barry quickly go to lock him down, but he's worked it to Fofana, and now it's with Cole Palmer, the man whose goal separates the sides after a lovely defence-splitting pass from Malo Gusto sent him through. And Chelsea with lots of off-the-ball movement at the moment. They seem to be trying to force Everton around the pitch, take them out of their shape. Pedro's made a run through the centre now, which is seen by Malo Gusto. Was he caught by Tarkowski? He did well to get the header wide to Pedro Neto. Neto into the area now, low ball in, and it's straight into the path of Michael Keane rather than anyone in a Chelsea shirt. Otherwise they could have extended their lead. Here is Gusto for Chelsea. 10 minutes to go until half-time, leading Everton by Cole Palmer's goal to nil, and starting to look like they're finding their groove now.
Yeah, Chelsea have definitely been buoyed, obviously, with the momentum of this game. They've got great movement off the ball. João Pedro does really well with his drops in deep and then turns and swivels and runs towards the Everton defence. That's that ball that gets played to him. He flicks it out wide. It's just really good movement. It's difficult to come up against a mark.
Pedro Neto now trying to find the angle for a strike at goal from 25 yards out. Can't, so goes wide, and chance for the ball to be delivered by Malo Gusto, which he hasn't taken. Now it's with Neto from distance, and always rising over the top of the bar from about 20 yards out.
Yeah, a little bit wayward from Neto. I mean, I was obviously a little bit optimistic from that sort of distance. Saw an opportunity, got his head down. Unfortunately for Chelsea, couldn't control the effort. But Everton at the moment just lacking in real ideas. Yeah, we had that one moment there, Jack Grealish on the wide on the left-hand side. The one little moment in this last sort of 15-20 minutes where Everton had a little bit more joy in Chelsea's half. But from that point onwards, again, lose possession, up the other end, Chelsea creating half chances.
Jordan Pickford taking his time over the resumption from this goal kick, and then has shanked his ball forwards as O'Brien kept it in just about on this right hand side. He sends it back to Pickford, who's got João Pedro closing him down. He's returned the pass to O'Brien. Now it's quickly forwards to Iliman Ndiaye. Cucurella went to try and box him off, and he rolled Cucurella, got the pass forwards, but Chalobah intercepts before it can reach Thierno Barry. And he's such a willing runner, Thierno Barry. We know how hard he's trying, but it's another game where he's really struggling to make an impact.
Yeah, at times they've got to. I mean, there's a couple of times where the ball's gone straight towards him, and he's, Chelsea player Fofana in one instance dives through, misses it, and then it hits Barry or just goes past Barry. He wasn't expecting it. It's a difficult one when you're away from home. You're trying to lead the line. You're the out ball. At the very least, you've got to put pressure on the ball. So he's got a lot of ground to cover, and it's a tough afternoon for him so far.
Yeah, he ended a run of 14 consecutive Premier League games without a goal by scoring his first for Everton in that 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest, which will have done him the power of good, but finding it tough again up top this afternoon at the Bridge, with Everton trailing it by a 1-0. But they do have a free kick midway inside the Chelsea half. Garner's going to take it, and Garner's put it into a good area, and it's headed wide by James Tarkowski at the far stick. Well, there's no offside flag. They would have had to have checked it because it looked tight, but James Tarkowski with an opportunity that he couldn't fashion on target.
Yeah, I think Tarkowski's timed his run really well. Chelsea have not really seen it because he's made a quite deep run into that far post area. What's caught Tarkowski out is the skid off the turf from that ball. And as it skids off the turf, he tries to head it down towards goal or anywhere across the 6-yard box, and he just can't control it. It's too much pace and too much skid off the turf.
But it was a really good ball in from Garner, and Chelsea fortunate that Tarkowski wasn't able to get it on target, because it was a header that was certainly travelling, and Sanchez might have had his work cut out to keep it out of the net. As it is, Chelsea have the advantage. 8 minutes to go until half-time as they try and squeeze Everton as they play out from the back, but Keane has got it and found Alcaraz. James goes short to close him down, and Everton are back with Jordan Pickford once again, and Pickford sizes up his options and opts again to the right-hand side of the pitch, but Alcaraz has Reece James anticipating well. Alcaraz has got clear of him and got the ball forward for O'Brien, who's going down the right flank now. O'Brien has 4 in the area, and Jai was one of them, and he made a complete mess of his effort. It's a real air kick from just inside the box, and he gets nothing on it, and Everton see another half chance come and go. Yeah, very unfortunate for Everton. Jake O'Brien does really well down this right-hand side as he runs down almost the full length of Chelsea's half there. And now it's Idrissa Gana Gueye who's got him round the back. He's at the byline, across goal, and Barry somehow missed it. Well, it was an open goal, and Thierno Barry just got nothing on the ball. I don't think Idrissa Gana Gueye could have done much more than he did. Everton enjoying a really good period at the moment as they try and get themselves back on level terms. Yeah, I don't think Barry had a chance there. You can see there Robert Sanchez gets a touch on the ball. It's a really good cross from Idrissa Gueye, and it was going straight to Barry. Barry would have just had to get something behind it, but Robert Sanchez gets the tiniest of touches on it and takes it away from Barry. That's a top save from the goalkeeper. Everton coming strong towards the end of the first half. They began the game pretty well, then conceded to that Cole Palmer effort midway through the half and lost their way for a bit, but they're coming again now, are David Moyes' side. O'Brien has Cucurella blocking off the forward pass, so it's backwards of square to Tarkowski. Tarkowski into the feet of Gueye, and Gueye now, that's a real waste for Everton. Simple pass out wide to O'Brien, overhit out. Cucurella has to throw left back area for Chelsea. Yeah, and Dye's been a little bit sloppy, hasn't he? He's just been a little bit lethargic, like that chance before Jake O'Brien down the right hand side. He looks up, he finds Njai at the edge of the box in massive air swing. It was slightly behind him, but a player of his quality expecting to get a decent strike away from on goal, uncontested. Fortunately, he missed it. There again, back to play. Just a sloppy, 7-8 yard pass. Nearly a sloppy moment from James Tarkowski as he controlled the ball out of the air, but nearly presented it to João Pedro. Everton, though, have got it forwards and are on halfway with Alcaraz. Now it's Garner, short to Alcaraz again. He plays it square to Jack Grealish. Grealish waiting for the obvious pass to play. No forward ball on, so he is patient and goes back to Garner. And this is still on halfway for Everton. Now they've worked it from the left to the right hand side, and Tarkowski trots forwards, pushes it on for O'Brien. First time cross low from him, and dealt with by Shalabar. Needed to be, because Barry was waiting to try and tap that one in from about 8 yards out. And again, Everton asking further questions of Chelsea. You could do with the half-time whistle with 4 minutes left to play. Yeah, good little spell here from Everton. They've lifted their game. They've certainly had a lot of joy down this right-hand side. Jake O'Brien's had a lot of freedom, a lot of opportunities to whip that ball in the box. Now it's Njai by the edge of the area, feeding O'Brien. What a waste that is. By the byline, went for the first time cross and has just completely duffed it over the bar and behind. Probably the easiest effort from him this afternoon so far from Jake O'Brien. He's in a really good position, unfortunately just duffs it. Mind you, it was not an Everton player making a run to the near post. There were 2 or 3 making it to the far post. So the only option he really had was to try and lift it, dink it towards the far post area, and unfortunately for him, it just gets horribly wrong. So it will be a goal kick for Chelsea with a few minutes to go until the break. We'll have a rundown of all of the scores for you at the interval. It's still 1-0 to Liverpool at Anfield against Brighton. Mo Salah on the pitch now, having began on the bench. He replaced Gomez for Arne Slot's side. And 1-0 here as well. Full commentary of Burnley against Fulham to come at 5:30 for you. And Five Live's Premier League Sunday is absolutely stacked with top draw action. Manchester City go to Palace. Spurs are at Forest. There's the Tyne Weir derby. West Ham play the flying Aston Villa, and then at 4:30 it's Brentford against Leeds United. Commentary of all of those games available for you across the BBC as part of Five Live's Premier League Sunday. Here on Sports Extra, 2.5 minutes left at the Bridge, where Chelsea, courtesy of a very well worked goal, lead Everton. Goal scored by Cole Palmer after he was played through by Malo Gusto. Enzo Fernandez has put the ball out of play fairly carelessly there to gift Everton a throw midway inside the Chelsea half. That's been a fairly common theme throughout this first half. A lot of errant passes from players that should know better.
Yeah, I think so. A little bit sloppy. Pitch is really zippy. I think grass is really short. It's just one of those pitches that's a bit hard underfoot, and the ball really zips off the turf. So if you get that slightly wrong, it's really difficult to get the pass, the accuracy right.
Garner goes back to Tarkowski, takes a touch to steady himself, and then bangs a crossfield one, looking for Grealish and finding him, and Jack Grealish into the area here for Everton. Grealish still going, tried to flick it over Sanchez, who stood firm and blocked him. Would have been some goal from Jack Grealish, and Sanchez did his job well.
Just trying to work out whether Jack Grealish tries to chip it over Sanchez into the back of the net, or he's trying to chip it across the face of goal. He's just such a tight angle, it's really difficult to tell, but it's a great run from him. He's great skill once again. Big opportunity for Everton.
Gusto from distance has forced a comfortable save from Jordan Pickford, who gets down to make the parry as Alcaraz is nearly dispossessed by Gusto deep inside Everton territory, but Alcaraz has shrugged off the challenge and has played it square to Mikalenko. Now it's Jack Grealish, again with that deliberate manner of his, slows the play down, then speeds it up, and instead of carrying on his dribble has played the pass square to Gay, and now it's Garner who's popped it onto Njai, corner of the penalty area. Cucurella pushing him further and further away from it, but Njai's gone the long way round and got clear of Cucurella, and it's come for O'Brien to cross, which is deflected by Garnacho. Garnacho then chases his own deflection and gets there ahead of Cucurella. It's launched to João Pedro. He's levered off it by Tarkowski. No foul. Firm but fair in the eyes of the referee as we go into the final few seconds of the half. The cross from Garner is plucked out of the air by Sanchez, who's in a hurry to get on with things, and rolls it out to Malo Gusto. Gusto has Neto on his bike on the right hand side. Neto now on the right wing. Mikalenko trying to hold him up. Neto clear of him. Neto to the byline. Neto's cross, 2-0. It's Malo Gusto who is on the end of it after excellent work from Pedro Neto down that right hand side, and it's a sucker punch for Everton right at the end of the first half. They've been enjoying a good period of play, but Neto's run and cross stuck away by Malo Gusto, and it's Chelsea 2, Everton 0.
Yeah, really good goal from Chelsea, really good team goal. Malo Gusto starts it, his ball out wide to Neto. I thought it was a little bit maybe under hit for Neto, but Neto takes it, takes on Mikalenko. Turn of pace was exceptional from Neto. Gets around into the byline, cuts it back, and Malo Gusto's there to finish it off. Yeah, it's not the cleanest of strikes, it doesn't matter. It's in the back of the net, and it's a really good team goal from Chelsea.
Well, what a season this is turning out to be for Malo Gusto in front of goal. Hadn't scored in his professional career before this term, but now has 2 in relatively quick succession. That's 2 in 105 appearances for Malo Gusto now. Jordan Pickford got a fingertip to it, but not enough to keep it out. And Chelsea now are in such a strong position. It is tricky to see how Everton are going to get their way out of things. And of course they're without Dewsbury Hall, which is another thing to consider, and David Moyes with a lot to ponder as we head towards half-time.
Yeah, it's an interesting one as well. When you see the goal again on replay, Everton have got players. They've got loads of players in the box, just no one making the tracking run. Gusto makes a run into the box quite late. there's an abundance of Everton players there, just no one close enough to make an impact on that ball.
Garnacho by the corner of the area, backwards of square to Enzo Fernandez. His lifted ball in is aimed towards Pedro Neto. It's cleared as far as Reece James. Square ball from him to Malo Gusto. We played 2 of the 3 added minutes at the end of the half. Chelsea 2, Everton 0. Back to Malo Gusto, and now Pedro Neto. Chelsea playing keep ball now. They're in such a position of power. But Everton might feel a bit hard done by that. The score doesn't really truly reflect the way that the game has gone. But at the sharp end, that's what you do. You take your chances clinically, as Enzo Maresca's men have done. And they are now running down the clock as Cucurella hurls it back to Chalobah. 30 seconds of stoppage time left in this first half. Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto with the Chelsea goals. And now it is Cole Palmer on the right side for Chelsea. He's got Grealish sort of making a fairly token gesture to close him down, so he goes back to halfway, and then Grealish just shoved him after Cole Palmer played the pass. So a little bit childish from Jack Grealish there, with the England head coach Thomas Tuchel in attendance. I don't think he'd particularly have enjoyed that petulance from Grealish there. But Chelsea, again, it's now felt like a bit of a training ground routine as they stroke the ball around and just wait for that half-time whistle to be blown by Thomas Bramall, as he takes a look at his watch now, the referee, and does have his whistle to his lips, and that is half-time here at Stamford Bridge, with Chelsea in control. Although Mark Schwarzer, it didn't always look as though that was going to be the case.
No, I thought they started pretty well, Chelsea. I mean, in the end, obviously scoring the goal when Cole Palmer did, that was the turning moment. That's where I think Everton struggled to get back in the game. They had 1 or 2 chances. Jake O'Brien down the right-hand side, delivery in the box was really, really good. Robert Sanchez makes a really vital touch, takes it away from Barry's feet. Otherwise, it would have easily been 1-1. And then, of course, Chelsea go on to make it 2-0 just before half-time. They were pretty clinical, Chelsea. And the tempo's been good, and the movement off the ball, I think, for Chelsea has been really positive as well.
OK, so at the break, it's Chelsea leading Everton by 2-0. We'll be back with the second half shortly, but in the meantime, we can join 5 Live.
Liverpool 1, Brighton Hove Albion 0.
No early game in the Premier League today, and only 2 at 3 o'clock. Liverpool lead at Anfield, Chelsea lead at Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
They do. They lead Everton by 2-0. Really damaging second goal from Everton right on half-time, just as they were pushing for the equaliser. The opening goal, well worked for Fana to Gusto. Lovely through ball, Gusto to Cole Palmer on the right of the area, and he finished past Pickford at his near post. Clinical finish, 3rd of the season, his first in 3 months. Then that second goal, Neto did brilliantly down the right-hand side, round Mikolenko, pulled it back. There was Gusto, assist for the first, scored the second. Really good finish for him. Everton, as I say, pushing for that equaliser before the second goal. Tarkowski with a header at the back post into the ground and went wide, and Grealish cut in from the left, a blocking save from Sanchez. But David Moyes has now got some talking to do at half-time. Chelsea 2, Everton 0.
Full commentary of Burnley against Fulham at 5:30. Arsenal Wolves is an 8 o'clock kick-off tonight during 6:06. Earlier in the Championship, Oxford 1, Preston 2, Stoke 2, Swansea 1, Norwich beat Southampton 2-1. At the 3 o'clock games, we'll start with the leaders. They're at home to Bristol City. Shojo Saka.
Coventry 0, Bristol City 0. Scoreless, yes, but it's pretty lively. Bristol City had the ball in the net through Sinclair Armstrong. It was ruled out for handball in the build-up. He's had 2 other attempts saved. Emil Rees has had a header on target as well. Haji Wright at the other end has hit the post for Coventry. The leaders have tested the Bristol City keeper Radek Vitek several times, but he's unbeaten so far. Half-time, Coventry 0, Bristol City 0.
Ryan Graydon's 7th of the season has doubled Fleetwood's lead at bottom of the Football League. Newport 0, Fleetwood 2 as they approach half-time. Back to the Championship, Middlesbrough in second. Rob Law.
And Middlesbrough 2, QPR 0, and Middlesbrough fans have dubbed Kim Hellberg's brand of football as Hellball. And on this afternoon showing, you can see exactly why. David Strelets give Borough a deserved lead on the half-hour mark, and 7 minutes later, goalkeeper Sol Bryn hit a huge diagonal to pick out Morgan Whittaker, who curled one into the bottom corner. 6 in 6 for him now. Breathless stuff from Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough. They could have had more. QPR well off the pace, and as it stands, Borough are 2 points behind leaders Coventry. Middlesbrough 2, QPR 0 at the break.
Going well for Hull at the Den. Emily Herbert.
Yeah, Hull in control at the break. Mill 0, Hull 2. Carl Joseph striking twice in the opening 13 minutes. Crosses from either flank, finishing from close range. Both goals coming against the run of play. Millwall caught on the counter, asleep at the back and left wide open. As it stands, they drop to 4th while Hull push back into the playoffs. Half-time, Millwall 0, Hull 2.
Next to Leicester, who've won just one of their last 7 at home in the Championship. It's looking like it's going their way this afternoon. John Bennett.
Going very well for them. Leicester City 2, Ipswich Town 0. One great goal, one unbelievable goal. The great goal, Bobby De Cordova-Reid, a long-range effort. The unbelievable goal for Abdul Fatawu, level with the edge of the centre circle, inside his own half, spots the keeper off his line. A lovely left-foot lob, must be 60 yards out. At the other end, Ipswich have offered very, very little. Leicester City 2, Ipswich Town 0.
Charlton are on course for a 6th straight defeat. Charlotte Richardson.
Birmingham 1, Charlton 0. Christoph Clara's header from a free kick. The difference, the Blues captain leapt highest to expertly nod the ball into the top right corner. The hosts had been building pressure. Damari Gray striking the woodwork just beforehand. And Charlton had a golden chance to level. Tanto Alafi pinching possession in the final third. Fed his strike partner, Miles Lieben, who blazed over from just 6 yards out. Birmingham 1, Charlton 0 at half-time.
And Portsmouth woes are continuing as well. Joshua.
Portsmouth 0, Blackburn 1 off to an even start. Mark, a moment of real quality separates the two sides. Yuko Hashi with a wonderful solo opener, great footwork to skip past the Pompey defenders in the box. Then he slotted it into the bottom corner, his 5th league goal of the season. That goal stunned the Portsmouth players, with Blackburn end of the half well on top. Todd Cantwell going close to a second later on. Work for the home side to do in the second half. It's Portsmouth 0, Blackburn 1.
One other game in the Championship this afternoon, and Wrexham are behind at the break. Wrexham 1, Watford 2. Josh Windass had put them ahead with his 6th of the season, but Mamadou Doumbia and then Almen Mama have given Watford the lead at the break. So Wrexham 1, Watford 2. In League 1 at lunchtime, AFC Wimbledon 0, Mansfield 0, Huddersfield 1, Wigan 1. At 3 o'clock, let's go to Edgeley Park. Stockport against Stevenage. Adam Cottier.
Stevenage leading this by 1-0, and they look very secure as well with the EFL's stingiest defence. They've only conceded 12 goals. At the other end, their aggression has been good. They hit the post through Jamie Reid, and then Chem Campbell sent a brilliant left foot shot searing into the top corner to give them the lead. Super goal, and Stevenage lead 1-0 against Stockport.
Leaders are being held at the break. Laura Kenyon.
They are. Cardiff 2, Doncaster 2. A breathless first half and not exactly a masterclass in defending. Owen Bailey gave the visitors a surprise lead. Slight scuff on the first time strike. Wrong-footed the Cardiff keeper. Good response, though, from the league leaders. Amari Kellyman bursting into the box. Then Cian Ashford going it alone to nudge Cardiff ahead. They will be absolutely kicking themselves, therefore, for allowing Brandon Hanlon to level things up. I need a half-time mince pie. It's Cardiff 2, Doncaster 2.
4 goals there, none at Valley Parade. Naz Premji.
Bradford City 0, Reading 0. Fairly tepid stuff here compared to what Laura's had at the Cardiff City Stadium. Bradford with more of the moments that matter. Anthony Sarcevic 8 yards out from the angle, fired wide. Stephen Humphreys had an early shot which was forced behind. Reading nearly capitalised on a poor back pass. Both Calvin Ebebatum and Daniel Shirawa couldn't beat Sam Walker. It needs to improve this in the second half. Bradford City 0, Reading 0.
Elsewhere in League 1, Barnsley 1, Leyton Orient 2. Race clear his 4th of the season, put the home side ahead hit there, but Don Ballard with his 8th of the season from the penalty spot, and Ollie O'Neill have given Richie Wellens' side the lead at the break. Blackpool 1, Lincoln 2. Could be a surprise at Bolton. They trail Exeter by a goal till. Jack Aitchison got it, 4th of the season for him. Burton 0, Wickham 0. Luton 1, Port Vale 1. Ben Waine got Port Vale's goal, and that's their first in 7 league games. Peterborough lead 10-man Northampton at the break thanks to Harry Leonard's 5th of the season. Plymouth are 1-0 up at home to Rotherham. You've got to go back to the 6th of September for the last time Tom Cleverley's side won in the league, but they are ahead at the break. In League 2 earlier, Bristol Rovers 0, Swindon 3, and Salford came from 3-1 down to beat Colchester 4-3. How are the leaders doing at half-time? Nikesh Ragani.
They're in front. It's Walsall 1, Shrewsbury Town 0. The league leaders flying out of the traps today, getting their early goal thanks to Daniel Carnew's 11th of the season. A thunderous strike from the edge of the area. He could have had another 2, but he fluffed a shot from close range. Barrett and Weir have also had good chances, but somehow the visitors, who haven't won here in 32 years, are still in this. But if it does stay like this, Walsall will restore their 4-point lead at the top. At half-time, it's Walsall 1, Shrewsbury Town 0.
Notts County are in second. They're being held at the break. Matt Newsom.
Yeah, this one, Grimsby Town 0, Notts County 0. Well, they're belaying their status, really, Grimsby, in this one. They've made the best of the running. Jace Cabia still don't understand how he didn't score. Rhys Staunton and Kieran Green also getting shots away. Nick Tussarula's had Notts County's best chance, still goalless.
Home side lead at Stadium MK, Mark Webber.
Indeed, Milton Keynes Dons 1, Cambridge United 0. The deadlock broken 42 minutes in when Liam Kelly threw a lovely ball to Callum Patterson in the air and he struck home. There should be more goals, to be honest. Kellen Watts, Liam Bennett, Ben Knight, all shots blocked for the visitors. Alex Gilby then had the best of the chances for the home side. MK Dons currently third in the live table. Milton Keynes Dons 1, Cambridge United 0.
Elsewhere in League 2, at the break, Accrington 0, Bromley 0, Cheltenham 0, Harrogate 0, Chesterfield lead Barnet by 2 goals to 1. Lee Bonus is their top scorer. He's got both of their goals this afternoon. 9 for the season for him. Crawley 1, Oldham 0, Gillingham 2, Barrow 0, Newport 0, Fleetwood 2 and Tranmere 0. Crew 2. No National League games today because it's the FA Trophy. One score that is standing. There are so many games, can't go through them all. One score that is standing out. Hartlepool are behind at the break to Anstey Nomads, who have David Nugent, the former England striker, in their ranks. Hartlepool 0, Anstey Nomads 1 at half-time in the FA Trophy. 2 3 o'clock games in the Scottish Premiership. Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0. Bottom of the table, Livingston trail next to bottom Dundee by 2 goals to 0 at the break. In the Championship, Arbroath 0, Partick 0, Morton 0, Edrionians 0. Queen's Park are 1-0 up on Dunfermline. Wraith lead Ross County 3-0. Alloa 0, Queen of the South 1 as we go into League 1. Goalless between Cove Rangers and East Fife. Inverness 2, Hamilton 0, Montrose 2, Stenhousemuir 0, Peterhead 1, Kelty Hearts 0. And in League 2, Annan 0, Forfar 1, Dumbarton 2, East Kilbride 0, Edinburgh City 1, Clyde 1, Elgin 0, Stranraer 1. It's goalless between Stirling and Spartans. Earlier in the Women's Super League, Everton 1, Arsenal 3, and in the Women's FA Cup, Nottingham Forest 1, 2-1 at Wolves. Let's go to Ali Pali and the darts, where a former world champion is in action, James Gregg.
He is, and that man is Gary Anderson at the hockey. He's shown his class. He's averaging over 100 in this first set so far. He's playing against Durham's Adam Hunt. Other winners so far this afternoon, Mark, include Luke Woodhouse, the 25th seed, and Andrew Gilding, the man they call Goldfinger, and of course the part-timer David Davis on his debut. Luke Humphreys, the world number 2, this evening's main event at the Palace just after 9 o'clock.
Champions Cup Rugby Union scores next. Stormers beat Stade Rochelle 42-21. Claremont 7, Sale 20 at the as they just approach half-time there. Sharks 14, Saracens 15 as they approach half-time in that game. In the Women's Premiership earlier, it finished Trailfinders 57, Leicester 10. You are up to date with all the scores. Exactly 4 o'clock. Here's Dan with the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. The Metropolitan Police have said they'll take no further action over claims Andrew Mountbatten Windsor asked his police protection officer to dig up information about one of his accusers, Virginia Giuffre. The then Prince allegedly asked the officer to investigate Ms Giuffre just before the Mail on Sunday published a photo of the pair meeting in February 2011. Mr Mountbatten Windsor hasn't commented but has consistently denied allegations against him. The Doctors' Union, the British Medical Association, has accused the Health Secretary Wes Streeting of scaremongering after he suggested that strike action at the same time as an outbreak of flu could push the NHS to collapse. Resident doctors in England are due to walk out for 5 days next week. Keir Starmer has called the strikes reckless. Belarus has released more than 100 political prisoners. They include the opposition leader, Viktor Babariko, who was jailed shortly before he could challenge Alexander Lukashenko in presidential elections 5 years ago. And cancer charities are encouraging the public to follow the King's guidance and stay on top of their NHS screening appointments. In a recorded message, King Charles revealed that his early diagnosis means his cancer treatment can now be reduced.
My name's Steve Bracknell, Assistant Manager at Royal Oak FC. The BBC have given me the chance to set the footballing world back to rights. Oh, he landed one! An absolute megastar. Robbie Williams.
What position were you at on a Sunday league?
Left back. Left back?
Yeah.
I'd have you down as a maverick, like winner. I've dragged this club up from nothing. It's a bit of a Barlow-Williams thing going on at times.
That sort of flip-flopped all the way through our careers.
All right then, take that. Who are hardest? Rank 'em.
We'll do this now?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay.
Game's Gone, the Steve Bracknell podcast. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Arsenal have gone second in the WSL after a 3-1 win at Everton. England captain Leah Williamson came off the bench in her first appearance since the Euros, and it's now 4 wins in a row for Rennie Slager's side.
At the start of season, small margins as well. I'm just taking an example of the Aston Villa game at home where we concede that really late goal from a corner. That's those moments that I think we manage better now, and that's been tough learnings for us. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with how the last couple of games have been. Picked up a lot of points. So not happy with the points we dropped, but then with the last couple of wins, that puts us in a better position for the second half of the season.
That's Rennie Slagers then on 5 Live, back here on Sports Extra. It is the second half about to get underway between Chelsea and Everton. Chelsea 2-0 up at the interval and in a very strong position indeed. The goals coming from Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto, who is in a rich vein of goal-scoring form now by his standards, and Chelsea set to rise to 4th in the Premier League table. They would leapfrog a couple of sides to go to within 2 points of Aston Villa and within 3 of Manchester City and 5 of the leaders Arsenal, who play Wolverhampton Wanderers this evening in an 8 o'clock kickoff. Manchester City and Aston Villa in action tomorrow. Their games live across the BBC for you to listen to on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. Mark Schwarzer alongside me at Stamford Bridge for this one as we get set to see Chelsea kick off the second half. What do Everton need to try and do to try and find a way back into things?
Yeah, they've got to be a little bit calmer on the ball. Got to get back to basics a little bit. I think at times they've just tried to overplay, wayward passing, get the balls out wide, and Jai Grealish, they're the two that can really have a massive impact on this game. There are glimpses of both of them that caused problems for Chelsea. That's where most of the problems came from, out wide. They've got to get back to that a bit more.
So it is Chelsea leading 2-0 as we get the second half underway. No changes at the break from either manager, so the teams look like this. Sanchez in goal for Chelsea, Cucurella, Chalobah, Fofana and Gusto, the back four, Fernandes and James, the holding midfielders, Garnacho, Palmer and Neto supporting João Pedro up top. Pickford's in goal for Everton, Mikalenko, Keane, Tarkowski and O'Brien their defence, Gay and Garner the defensive midfielders, Grealish, Alcaraz who came on for Dewsbury Hall, and Njai the three behind Tierno Barry who leads the Everton line as the floodlights are now really in full force. Darkness descending across this part of West London, and the pitch is completely lit up by the floodlights now. No sense of any daylight around anymore. We're heading towards the winter solstice, aren't we? And then the days do very gradually start to get longer once again, and we begin the long home stretch to summer. If we can start to be optimistic and start thinking about things like that. Here is a free kick for Chelsea, left back area. It's Enzo Fernandez who is over it. Cucurella in attendance as well. Enzo Fernandez has popped it backwards of square, and now it's with Wesley Fofana for Chelsea. 2-0 up as Neto collects under pressure from Mikalenko. Is pushed very high up the pitch from left back, spun all the way back to Sanchez, and now it's outside the Chelsea penalty area with Reece James, brought forwards by Fofana. He wants to run from Neto down that right flank to happen. Garner gets back to win the header to prevent the looped ball towards him from reaching Pedro Neto, and Garner has it in a defensive area for Everton and plays a flat pass across to the right hand side, and O'Brien's ball up the line looking for Thierry Barry is met by Chalobah, and Chelsea have it back in their position just outside their own penalty area. Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, this is with the moment where Chelsea have got the ball in deep in their own half. They're just playing the ball casually across the line. That's where Everton need to engage a bit more, need to put a bit more pressure on the ball. Don't make it too easy for Chelsea. They want to get back in this game, maybe have an impact, maybe try and create a bit of nerves possibly for Chelsea. If they get one back, game is on.
Here's Pedro Neto for Chelsea, infield to Malo Gusto, 30 yards out from goal, but a casual pass forwards from him, which is blocked off by Garner. Chelsea recycle. Neto's cross is good. Far post, Garnacho can't take the gift. Arriving late in the day, it wasn't the easiest opportunity, first time of asking, but having missed that open goal in the first period, that's another one that's come and gone.
Yeah, it's another chance for Chelsea and for Garnacho. Probably one of his more difficult ones. It was a really good run out wide on the left-hand side, beat everyone, just couldn't control that ball. It was a decent whipped ball into that danger zone. And unfortunately for Chelsea, wasn't able to control it.
Chelsea attempting to end this winless run of 4 games, and their drop-off continued in midweek. That 1-goal lead that they let slip to lose to Atalanta, which has been reflective of, say, underwhelming performances in the Premier League in recent weeks. That creditable draw against Arsenal, followed by the shock loss to Leeds, and then the laboured goalless draw at Bournemouth. And it is the second time this season that they've gone 3 Premier League matches without winning. And when you look compared to last season, Mark, 25 points after 15 games is 6 fewer than they had at this stage last season as well. But a win today and suddenly they're up knocking on the door of the top 3 again.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to have highs and lows this season. For Chelsea, they need to try and minimise those lows, of course. And they've started well today.
James with a pass through the centre. Garnacho herring off after it by the D of the area. Again, he did the hard work by speeding forwards and getting to the ball, but then he sold Pedro Neto short with the pass backwards, and Neto then, in trying to win it back, has conceded the free kick.
Yeah, it's frustrating for Chelsea there. They had a decent run into the box there, just couldn't keep control of the ball, and in the end give away a needless free kick. Tell you what, at half-time, David Moyes must have been telling his players, look, Chelsea have had leads in the past this season. They've lost leads. They've dropped more points than any other team in the Premier League from winning positions at home as well. So there is a vulnerability there. And for Chelsea, of course, it's about trying to build on momentum, trying to, make the most of this 2-goal lead, try and extend it even more and see this game out.
And I guess it's a weakness that might be there because of the absence of Moises Caicedo. This is the final game that they're without him due to suspension, as Palmer inside the area twists and turns and fires the ball in. Jordan Pickford got his hands to it, seemed to spill it, but no harm done, as it's going to be a goal kick for Everton anyway. But Moises Caicedo, as I was saying, this is the final game of his 3-match ban, and they really do drop off without the Ecuadorian in their side.
Oh, look, there's no doubting his quality. He's a workaholic. He's a top quality player. The sending off a couple of weeks ago as Liverpool was a really disappointing one. Changed the game completely, and I think him out of the side is always going to be a miss.
Alcaraz for Everton, who are missing Dewsbury Hall, in case you weren't with us earlier on. It looked like a hamstring problem for the former Chelsea man. Dewsbury Hall, who joined Everton from Chelsea last summer after he struggled for regular football here. Excelled during his time on Merseyside, missing just 1 game due to suspension. They'll be fearful that he might miss some more due to injury, given that he was forced off from the pitch. But Alcaraz hasn't done too badly as his replacement. Everton, with 6 minutes gone in this second half, still trail Chelsea by 2-0. It's Cucurella who pops it up the line towards Garnacho. Garnacho has gone back to Cucurella, and now it's with Fofana. This is all inside the Chelsea half at the moment. Chalobah just dummies the ball, and Thierry Barry can't get close to him, so Chalobah can find his centre-back partner Wesley Fofana with ease, with no Everton player really making a serious effort to close down Chelsea while they're in possession, so they can easily knock it forwards to Malo Gusto. Gusto into Neto, return pass from Pedro Neto. Gusto almost with the reverse ball for João Pedro to chase. Keane has then given the ball away to Cole Palmer. Palmer on the right flank for Chelsea, has Pedro Neto inside of him, but he doesn't find him because he's left the ball behind, and Mikolenko has won it back. It's with Jack Grealish now, but the free kick's awarded for the challenge on Mikolenko, and Everton have the ball.
Yeah, it's frustration there from Cole Palmer. He pushes Mikolenko over. I mean, there must be something between the two of them, because there's a little bit. There is a slapping of the hands to each other, so it seems like it's all okay. But yeah, Cole Palmer there he read the situation really well. Keane gets the ball, tries to play out of the back. Cole Palmer was very clever, pounces on it. That's where the sort of counter attack happens. He tries a little bit of cleverness past Mikolenko down the right hand side, but Mikolenko stands his ground, wins the ball, and there's that frustration. He just shoves Mikolenko in the back as he was running back. And the referee, it's an easy decision for him. Everton get a chance to have a breather and try and get out.
Mark Schwarzer with us on Sports Extra as Jordan Pickford sends that free kick up towards Tierno Barry. He couldn't make it stick, but Everton are onto the second ball. Grealish has worked it into Mikolenko. There's 3 Everton players in the area. Mikolenko can't find any of them though, because Wesley Fofana has made a really well-timed challenge. He stayed on his feet, waited until he spotted his opportunity, then just stepped in and won the ball cleanly with his boot. And Chelsea now recycle, and Malo Gusto has it. That was excellent from Wesley Fofana. Just waited, didn't he?
Yeah, his timing was excellent, because he came out like in a real hurry, and you thought, is he going to dive in? He doesn't. He holds his ground, waits. Mikolenko then I think also feels like he's going to come and challenge him. He doesn't. Mikolenko takes the big touch, and that's where Fofana pounces and wins the ball.
João Pedro's gone to ground on the left wing, and right in front of the Chelsea fans, who are incredulous that Thomas Bramall hasn't given them a free kick. Instead it's Everton who have the ball with Alcaraz, and he sprays it to Grealish, tight to the left touchline. Grealish into the area now. Malo Gusto trying to block him off. Grealish has a go at goal. It's blocked by Fofana. Very hopeful shouts of handball from the Everton fans, but Fofana had his arms down by his side, and it didn't seem to come off anywhere near his arm anyway. So it's with João Pedro for Chelsea. Short to Pedro Neto. Chelsea on halfway with Mark Cucurella. Infield to Reece James. James has found the angle to spot Malo Gusto in space in the centre circle. Now it's Cole Palmer. It just feels quite easy for Chelsea at the moment. There's not a great deal of pressure on the ball from Everton.
No, it seems a bit flat, Everton. There's no real energy in their intent to try and put pressure on the ball. There's almost a resignation of the ball possession, that Chelsea are going to cruise to victory. There's just not enough energy in this Everton side at the moment.
Malo Gusto goes back to Robert Sanchez. Reminder that there is one other game in the Premier League at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Liverpool leading Brighton 1-0. Here's Garnacho into the area, and it's another chance that the Argentinian has not been able to convert into the area. Pickford came flying out, and Garnacho lifted it over Pickford, but also over the bar.
You can hear the murmurs around the stadium. I tell you what, that is a massive chance for Chelsea. Garnacho does so well. I mean, the ball over top is superb. Garnacho's run onto it is excellent, equally brilliant. His touch is great. He does everything right until Pickford comes out, makes himself big. All he needs to do is dink the ball over him. It's just a little dink. He just gets it completely wrong and just misses it, the target. And it's so wayward. It was actually quite astounding. I'm still shocked that he's missed from there.
Well, that's 3 good chances that have come and gone for Alejandro Garnacho. The easiest of them was the one in the first half where he had an open goal and somehow put it wide. Chelsea could be completely out of sight by now. Instead, Everton could just have a sniff if they can get themselves back within a goal, but not from this attack, because Enzo Fernandez has robbed Michael Keane. And it's with Reece James with 56 minutes gone, and Chelsea leading Everton by 2-0 as Fofana's back pass to Sanchez caught the goalkeeper a little bit unaware, but no harm done for Chelsea, and it's with their captain Reece James. James plays it back to Chalobah. Good control from Chelsea. They know that they don't need to chase things at the moment, leading 2-0 in a comfortable position. Everton not really troubling them too much, so don't need to do anything too clever, although that was a very clever pass out towards Cole Palmer, who took it beautifully on the outside of his boot. Laid off for Pedro Neto now. Neto, well, there's been the sublime and then there's been the ridiculous, because there's been some outrageous passing and great skill, but also some awful short passing, and that was another example there that gives the ball away.
I think Joel Pedro just makes the wrong decision. He needs to play the ball out wide. It's a simple ball out wide. You can see Neto was there in acres of space. Instead, he tries to play the difficult one in a really, really busy, congested area.
Well, Cole Palmer, who was only recently come back from injury, of course, is withdrawn after an hour, so this would have been a premeditated move, and on in his place is Andre Santos, who struggled a bit in the game against Leeds United, so chance for him to get that out of his system, the Brazilian, as he replaces Palmer for the remaining half an hour or so here at the Bridge. It's Iliman Ndiaye now for Everton. He's doubled up on by Cucurella and Chalobah, got clear of the first of them, but then Chalobah leans in to send it behind for a corner. So Everton corner.
Yeah, Trevor Chalobah's been a revelation, I think, for Chelsea. Look, this time a year ago he was out on loan at Crystal Palace, called back shortly afterwards due to injuries, and since then I think he's been one of Chelsea's most consistent players, and he's been excellent for them.
Well, he has defending to do here from this Everton corner. Once Thomas Bramall, the referee, has just seen to a bit of a set two between Sanchez and a couple of the Everton players. It looks as though it's O'Brien who's trying his best to lean in on the keeper, and then he's got a Chelsea player that's acting as minder to make a sort of human barrier between himself and Sanchez, and still the jostling is going on. Sanchez then comes and makes a very good claim after all of that funny business, and a good throw out as well. Pedro Neto steaming over halfway. Good feet to get inside of the challenge of Alcaraz, but then he's lost out and then had a nibble back at Alcaraz in possession. A few Chelsea players have gone in, and Enzo Fernandez has left a bit extra in there, which has given away the free kick to Everton deep inside their own half.
Yeah, Chelsea obviously loses possession there. They were making sure Fernandez, Cucurella, Garnacho triple teamed him, didn't they? Alcaraz gave him no opportunity. They made sure that he wasn't going past them. That's where it's an easy decision for the referee to give a free kick. But Sanchez on that corner does really well. You had Santos in front of him. You mentioned there Jake O'Brien was continuously sort of manhandling Santos, also the goalkeeper. So they were just making some room, and the room worked really well because Sanchez was able to then come out and claim the cross.
Ball forward towards the edge of the Chelsea area this time around, and the flag is actually raised, so Chelsea will get themselves a free kick. Lots made of the chopping and changing, and with the demands for clubs these days, especially when you think about Chelsea having played at the Club World Cup over the summer, you can understand that managers need to make alterations, but as a goalkeeper, it's the defensive switches that seem to be in the spotlight for Enzo Maresca, tinkering too much with that. And obviously the goalkeeper hasn't been changed in the Premier League. Robert Sanchez plays all of those games, but it can't be easy if the players in front of you keep on being switched.
It isn't, and I think, I think some of the decisions to change was out of the manager's hands. It's due to injuries. Others have been his decisions, and it's about balancing act, about giving players as much opportunity to get match practice.
Free kick has been awarded for a challenge that Garnacho has made rather than been on the receiving end of. Chelsea were expecting the free kick to come their way for Garnacho being clattered, but Thomas Bramall has actually seen it the other way, and Garnacho has been penalised.
I'm not sure if it's Garnacho who's been penalised or if it's Cucurella. I think Cucurella's the one that's gone in. He's gone in quite strong in the challenge, let's put it that way, and that's why there was a bit of arguing going on and dissatisfaction from the Everton players, which I can kind of understand.
Well, the Everton players confer at the moment as we go past the hour mark, and Chelsea's still in this position of strength, 2-0 up against the Toffees, and heading 4th in the Premier League table. They'll go above Crystal Palace in the standings. Liverpool closing in on the European spots as well by virtue of their current 1-0 lead over Brighton and Hove Albion. Of course, highlights of all the Premier League matches on Match of the Day for you tonight. Njai's won the ball really well and gets towards the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. What a recovery challenge from Trevor Chalobah, though. Everton still have it with Garner 20 yards out from goal, central area, pops it to the left, and Grealish looking for the chance to get the cross in, is not able to do so, and then has clipped Pedro Neto in trying to win it back.
Yeah, Trevor Chalobah does exceptionally well. Initially, he gets caught, ball's bouncing everywhere, and Njai does so well to muscle him out of the way. He seems to be away. He's making that darting run across the face of the 18-yard box. Chalobah just comes from nowhere, and he makes a really last-ditch saving opportunity challenge, and it's a really good block, and it was perfectly timed, because had he not got it perfectly timed, there was a big question mark as to whether that would have been a penalty or not.
Liverpool are now 2-0 up against Brighton, and it's Hugo Ekitike again for Arne Slot's side, so that will quell some of the unwelcome headlines about the Mo Salah comments following the 3-3 draw with Leeds last weekend, off the back of the late win at Inter Milan as well. And the Championship leaders Coventry have their noses in front as well, 1-0 up against Bristol City just past the hour mark at the Coventry Building Society Arena as well. What a great job that Frank Lampard continues to do there. Ephraim Mason-Clark with that goal for Frank Lampard's side. Could be facing both of these clubs next season with Coventry Frank Lampard, who of course has managed both Everton and Chelsea in the past. It's with Malo Gusto for Chelsea at the moment, right back area. He's lost out to Mikalenko though. His pass backwards to Gay, and then a shove from Enzo Fernandez on Idrissa Gay, which goes unpunished, but Everton not harmed by it because the ball works its way back to Jordan Pickford. And now it's with Garner. He's challenged by Andre Santos and fouled by Andre Santos, much to Chelsea's disbelief, and Enzo Maresca gives the fourth official a piece of his mind as well, but it will be an Everton free kick. But the second half has progressed for around about 20 minutes now, with Chelsea not really having any cause for concern at all. They are just coasting their way towards the 3 points.
Yeah, they are, and I think part of that's to do with the stop-start nature. There's a lot of fouls going on, little niggly ones, and I think that suits Chelsea in breaking up play.
Well, Chelsea are going to make another change here, and Alejandro Garnacho goes off knowing that he could on another day have had a hat-trick here at Stamford Bridge. Instead, no goals to his name at all, as Estevao is stripped, but actually it's going to be Gittins to come on. So Jamie Gittins is the replacement for Alejandro Garnacho. So like for like on that far side, as he goes to play on the left of the front three, supporting João Pedro through the middle. And of course no Liam Delap. We don't know how long he's going to be out injured for, but means that they don't have as many options to play in that centre forward role as they would perhaps have liked to. Njai for Everton over on the far side, who has not quite been able to make as much of an impact as he or Everton would have liked him to. Here is Tarkowski, forwards for Iliman Njai, right side of the pitch, finds O'Brien. O'Brien waits for the return run of Njai, doesn't come from him, so Garner spins into a bit of space and has popped it further wide for Keane. Now it's Grealish. This is the left wing for Everton. Jack Grealish stuttering and halting and then crossing, and the cross got a deflection which actually helped out Chalobah. His clearance is only away as far as O'Brien, who should be able to start things up once again. O'Brien with the cross, it's a good one. Grealish's header just over the top of the bar. In fact, it got a touch on its way through. It'll be an Everton corner. Don't associate Jack Grealish with headed goals, but that was a chance.
Yeah, it was a decent ball, wasn't it, to the far post area. Jack Grealish is the one that's making that run, and he gets a decent header on it, just a little bit loopy, and it allows Sanchez. I think it may have been going over, but he has to make sure because it's so close, and he gets the final touch but a little bit better from Everton, and I think a lot of it's to do with playing that ball out wide. They've stopped playing the ball out wide in this second half.
Garner's corner towards the near post, and Gittins has got to the loose ball first, and Gay has then wrestled it back off him. Excellent stuff from Idrissa Gana Gay. Oh, no sooner do I say that than he stumbles into Enzo Fernandez, and João Pedro is on halfway for Chelsea. Shrugs off the challenge of Iliman Ndiaye. Did really well initially, and then Ndiaye has picked his pocket, and Kukurea and Ndiaye in a tangle after that, and a little bit of afters as well, but nothing too fruity for the referee to need to get in the middle of.
Yeah, and Ndiaye does really well. Kukurea was testing Ndiaye, was trying to get a reaction from him, and Ndiaye didn't flinch. He wasn't going to be sucked into it.
Well, Chelsea have had indifferent form recently, but set to get back to winning ways as Beto comes on for the visitors here, and Tieno Barry, who has been a willing runner but has not really had anything to feed off at all, is taken off. That's been a problem for Everton, the strikers not scoring goals. Beto trying to do that for them to get them back into proceedings this afternoon. Beto is the target as the ball is hiked forwards. Mikolenko underneath it, but his header doesn't go anywhere, and now it's up towards João Pedro for Chelsea. João Pedro closed down by two Everton players, and it's broken here. Opens up for André Santos, and well, he is blazed over the bar from inside the D of the penalty area. It was a promising opening for him, and he was unable to make the most of it.
He just never looked right, did he? He didn't look confident on the ball. It opens up for him, and his touch, I think, slightly far in front of him, and he's already kind of in his head calculated how many steps he's going to take the strike, and by doing so, he's then reaching for it, and it flies over the crossbar. He had the option of playing it right to Enzo Fernandez as well, but decides to go for the shot, but couldn't control it.
Latest scores in the Championship: Birmingham 1, Charlton 1, Coventry 1, Bristol City 0, Leicester 3-0 up against Ipswich Town, and Middlesbrough cruising against QPR by 3-1 as well. Millwall 0, Hull 2 is a surprising score from the Den. Portsmouth 1, Blackburn 1, and Wrexham 1, Watford 2 is another latest score. Earlier on in the Championship, wins for Norwich City, Preston North End and Stoke City as well. So the top of the Championship table, Coventry still lead the way. Middlesbrough heading to within 5 points of them in second place, and then a bit of a buffer from those two to Preston, Millwall, Ipswich and Hull, who make up the promotion playoff places at the moment. It's on halfway for Chelsea with Malo Gusto. His swing forwards is chased down by Tarkowski, who's got João Pedro on his shoulder, and João Pedro seemed to have fouled him, and his reaction to Thomas Bramall probably bordering on whether it might have been seen as dissent or not, but he doesn't receive a yellow card. 20 minutes left to play, still Chelsea 2, Everton 0, and still Chelsea looking very, very comfortable indeed.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's to do with the fact that they've been compact. They haven't had to do a real lot, have they? Everton haven't really pushed them enough. They haven't asked enough questions. They haven't been high enough press in this second half. It's been pretty comfortable overall for Chelsea.
Here is Alcaraz racing after one down the right-hand channel. He's got to it as well, and Beto was waiting in the middle, and Alcaraz couldn't find him, so it's going to be a corner kick.
Yeah, it was Reece James making a run down the right-hand side, trying to intercept it. I think he just slightly misreads the delivery.
Taken quickly, and O'Brien into the area, closed off by André Santos. The ball has been worked wide though, and a chance for Alcaraz to put in a really good first-time cross, which is missed by Jack Grealish. What a chance to get Everton back to within a goal.
Wow, that's a big chance, isn't it? Jack Grealish, you want it to fall to him as well. The thing is, the ball bounces, in the 6-yard box, right on the edge of the 6-yard box, as it bounces towards the far post area. Jack Grealish comes in, and the logical foot to use is your left. He uses his right, but he uses the outside of his right. He tries to stab in that far corner and just misses by 2 or 3 metres, misses the goal. Poor effort from Jack Grealish.
Well, they've had their openings, Everton, still yet to score this afternoon. 20 minutes to play, Chelsea 2-0 up. Gittins gets to the byline, gets the cross in dangerously, nearly an own goal. Keane got something on it, sent it behind for a corner, had to get a touch because there was a blue shirt waiting to pop it home, but his intervention leads to a corner.
That's excellent defending from Keane. He knows exactly what he's doing there. He knows he needs to get a touch on the ball. He just tries to help it past the goal and does so well.
A Chelsea corner, Chelsea looking to completely wrap this game up, leading 2-0. Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto, the goal scorers for the Blues, as Neto does pop this into a useful area. A couple of players miss it. Enzo Fernandez and João Pedro, both inside the 6-yard box, trying to convert from close range. Reece James is then chopped down by Alcaraz 5 yards outside the Everton penalty area, so that'll be a free kick in a useful area. But, well, they were big chances for both João Pedro and Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, I think they're both getting each other's way. I think otherwise that's 3-0. I mean, it's a 6-yard box, free shot. Could have easily been 3-0, should have been 3-0. Both of them, I think, just in the end, just getting each other's way, and that's what prevents them from going 3-0 up.
So the free kick is slightly left of centre, as Ipswich have got one back against Leicester. Jens Kayusta makes it Leicester 3, Ipswich 1, and Reece James and Mark Cucurella are the two Chelsea players that are in conversation over this free kick. Cucurella, though, has now walked away, so it looks as though it will be Reece James alone who will have the responsibility from around about 25-ish yards. It is left of centre, left side of the D, so it does favour a crack from Reece James here. Jordan Pickford trying to sort out his wall with João Pedro between Jordan Pickford and his wall as he looks to the angles to try and see where he wants to get them placed. There's the regulation draft excluder in the Everton wall as well. Pedro Neto saying that he thinks they're a bit too close, but the referee says get on with it. So here it is then. Reece James and Pedro Neto are both there. Surely it'll be Reece James from this angle. We wait for the whistle, and now we wait for Reece James to take. Reece James steps up over the wall and tipped over the bar by Pickford. It was dipping in from Reece James. It was a good try. It's a save that Jordan Pickford should always make, but he still did well.
Yeah, it's straight at him, isn't it? I mean, he's got a bit of a dive and the flick of the legs, but it's straight over the top of him, over the crossbar, with his guiding hand, of course, and it's one that you would 100% expect him to save.
So now Luton 2, Port Vale 2. Mads Anderson's equalised for Luton as the corner is floated into a really tricky area just inside the 6-yard box. It was dropped in there, and Tarkowski got a piece of it to send it behind for another corner.
Yeah, again, really dangerous ball in that near post area, massive overload of players. It's just in the end Everton get that final touch.
Chelsea going for the kill. Neto's corner, Pickford got a piece of it. It comes out as far as Reece James. His efforts charged down. Cucurella tries to recycle to Reece James, and James still jostling and moving and going over, but no free kick. And then Fofana has taken retribution into his own hands there, and the players are shoving and swinging at each other, and Thomas Bramall needs to get a handle on this. Well, still squabbling with each other as he calls a few of the players towards him and wants to have a word with the respective captains. Now he's going across to speak to Wesley Fofana, and I think the yellow card will be out for him.
Yeah, of course, there's a clear yellow card from Fofana. He stops the play, stops the quick break from Everton. There's no question about that whatsoever. It's just a bit of afters afterwards. Reece James and I think it was Jake O'Brien coming together a little bit, and a whole melee of players. Obviously Everton clearly frustrated and disappointed that there was a professional foul and wanted the referee to take action, and I think the referee calmly has done his job and has taken the appropriate action.
Chelsea 2, Everton 0 with 13 minutes left, and it's still Liverpool 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0 at Anfield with a similar amount of time left in that game as well. Full commentary from Turf, more to come at 5:30. Burnley against Fulham, and tomorrow a choice of listening for you across 5 Live and BBC Sounds, with Crystal Palace against Manchester City, Nottingham Forest against Spurs, Sunderland, Newcastle and West Ham against Aston Villa, all kicking off at 2 o'clock, and the 4:30 game is Brentford against Leeds United. Leeds United, who of course had that fine win over Chelsea not that long ago, and then the 3-3 draw with Liverpool that has given them a bit of a spring in their step and perhaps taken some of the heat off Daniel Farke as well. Here at the Bridge, Chelsea under no real heat at all as the crowd get to their feet to serenade Estevão, the exciting young Brazilian who the Chelsea fans always want to see more of. They'll get around about 10 minutes or so at least of him, as he's due to come on with 78 minutes played here, and Chelsea still leading 2-0. Fofana inside his own half for Chelsea, square to Chalobah. Chalobah has Alcaraz going to close him down, but pops it to Cucurella into the feet of Reece James. James with the give and go to Andre Santos. Gay was quickly on the scene, but Chelsea have wrestled it back and have it with Andre Santos again. Now pass forwards to Gittins. Good spin from him to get clear of Garner. Gets towards the edge of the area where O'Brien has shut the door in his face, so they have to go backwards and start again. Chelsea in centre field with Reece James. James has popped it wide to Pedro Neto, right flank. Pedro Neto waited for the opening to get the cross in, opts against delivering the cross, so Chelsea work it side to side. It's now on the left with Gittins into the feet of Enzo Fernandez, back to Andre Santos to Gusto, and his pass back to João Pedro doesn't quite come off and goes all the way through to Jordan Pickford. Everton should be able to clear their lines here with Keane, who bangs it towards halfway. James wins the header though, and Malo Gusto is there for Chelsea. Fofana is then lent into by Beto. There was no free kick for Chelsea there.
I think the referee allows play to go on, because you can see that Fofana wasn't giving up and he still had the momentum. He got fouled, yes, absolutely. The referee was just about to put his whistle to his mouth, and then he just allowed play to play on, and I think it's good refereeing. Let the game flow. If he can continue the advantage for Chelsea in this instance, then he has to let it go, which he did really well.
Reece James with the clip forwards, looking for Gusto. Doesn't quite reach the Chelsea man, so they will start again. Will Everton with Iliman and Jai on halfway. Has Cucurella hounding him, and he's also had Gittins come across to put his 2 pence worth in as well, as Estevão still waits for the chance to come on from the bench. The Chelsea man is stood there by the touchline, but the ball is still in play, and João Pedro goes down the right flank for Chelsea. João Pedro angles tough across goal, well wide of goal, might even potentially go out for a throw-in. Indeed it does go out for a throw-in, that's how wide it was.
Yeah, João Pedro, I think he's going for goal, isn't he? He's only got one thing in his mind when he enters that 18-yard box. I think he needs to look to play it square or cut it back.
That is João Pedro's last piece of action. He's replaced by his compatriot Estevão, who will give the Everton defence a different thing to consider. The pace and trickery that he has, just loves to take on players, and is already a cult favourite here at Stamford Bridge. Always look forward to seeing him when he comes on.
Yeah, huge talent, young man who's really hit the ground running, showed some real glimpses. He's an exciting talent for the future, and I think with Maresca sort of just trying to manage his time, and I think that's really important from a young player's perspective. They're frustrated when they don't get enough game time, but I think you really have to be careful and not throwing them in too much too often, and give them an opportunity to find their feet and grow as players.
Barnsley 2-2 now in their game, and Chesterfield are 3-1 up against Barnet. Millwall have pulled one back against Hull, with Imaku scoring, so it's Millwall 1, Hull 2 now in that game, although Aziz has been sent off for Millwall. 9 minutes left here at the Bridge, as Chelsea gets set to take a free kick on the left, and it's fizzed towards the near post, and Jordan Pickford just shovels it up and gathers it. The Chelsea fans thought he might have taken it beyond the byline. Assistant referee didn't, and Mikalenko is speeding forwards now for Everton, making really good ground. Mikalenko now lays it off to Alcaraz. Alcaraz decided not to go for the cross from the wide position he was in, and eventually the move is broken down, and Chelsea have it with Pedro Neto into centre field now, and worked wide by Enzo Fernandez to find Estevao. Immediately the crowd on their feet. Estevao has 3 Everton players around him, sees all of them off, although he has had to backtrack a bit. Now he's lost possession actually to James Garner. Garner has Beto in support. Garner carries, tries to find Beto, anticipated by Wesley Fofana, who makes the interception, and Chelsea have it back.
Yeah, that's where Estevao needs to learn. Sometimes you get the ball, you don't have to do everything right now. Right at that moment, your first time you get the touch of the ball, you know, instead of just putting his foot on the ball, looking to lay it off, give and go, find your way in the game, and that's the frustrating bit of it.
So Chalobah for Chelsea. Here's Wesley Fofana. It's been a bit of a stroll for Chelsea after a few awkward moments in the first half. Everton had a good period after Chelsea made a fairly strongish start to the game, but after Cole Palmer's goal, it seemed to unravel a bit for them.
Yeah, I've been disappointed with with Everton in the second half. I thought we'd get more from them, more energy, more press. They haven't really. They've just struggled to get going. Maybe that's to do with Chelsea's doggedness, maybe, you know, the way they've set up. But Everton stopped playing the ball out wide. They didn't attack Chelsea's flanks enough like they did in the first half, and that's where they created most of their opportunities out wide. Certainly with Jake O'Brien down the right hand side, and then on the left hand side obviously you've got Jack Grealish, who at times just wasn't in the game enough, came inside too much.
Tyler Dibbling is on for Everton to try and make something happen late doors. He's not had as many minutes as he would have wanted following his move from Southampton, but he's got some tough talents to try and dislodge when you look at the likes of Jack Grealish and Iliman Ndiaye, and Tim Irabunum is also on for Everton as well. Garner going off, and also Jack Grealish taken off as well. Robert Sanchez taking his time with 6 minutes left to play. Chelsea ending their wait for victory. 3 Premier League games without a success before the seemingly inevitable one here at the moment. The current tally of 25 points after 15 games is off what they had last season. They're missing Moises Caicedo, as we mentioned. He will be back for their next game, so that will be a big boost for them, but they've still got work to do when it comes to the Champions League after that defeat to Atalanta. Their final group game actually is away at Napoli, which could be a real testing one for them. They play Paphos here in their penultimate league phase game. They've left themselves with a bit of work to do. It's Gay for Everton, and then Dibbling is flattened by Cucurella. No foul. Tyler Dibbling quickly on his feet to inquire as to why, but Chelsea quickly get the ball forwards, and Neto lets it run for Estevao. Estevao, 5 minutes to go. Chelsea 2-0 up against Everton. Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto with the first half goals for Enzo Maresca's side, who are heading 4th in the table this evening. Gittins, who is in centre field and has played a lovely arced pass out towards Estevao, and that's a real shame actually, because it was a good ball from Gittins, but the bounce just completely did Estevao there.
Yeah, I think Estevao misread it, because I think he thought initially he was going to get on the full, then realised he wasn't, then he dipped away, and then by that time it was just too late. Again, go back to the surface, just skidded off it, and straight out for a throw-in, so a little bit disappointing.
Bradford 2, Reading 0 in League One. Bobby Poynton has given them a cushion in that game, same cushion that Chelsea are enjoying here. 2-0 up, 4 minutes now left to play, and it's felt more routine for Chelsea in this second half. They had a A couple of wobbles in the first period, but they weren't quite at it. But this has been serene progress for them.
Yeah, they've been very comfortable in the second half. Probably should find themselves further ahead. Very few chances Everton have created, or certainly, there was the one from Jack Grealish, that far post. Goes with the wrong foot, in my opinion, outside of his right foot from on the left here. Gets it horribly wrong. Chelsea, on the other hand, could have easily have won this game more comfortably.
And here is Iliman Ndiaye into the area and hitting the post. So close to giving Everton a glimmer late on. Iliman Ndiaye, wonderful dribble to get into the box. Robert Sanchez could only stand and watch as he went across goal with the low hit, and it came back off the face of the post.
I could have easily been eating my own words there, I'll tell you what. Ndiaye does really well. Great control. We just haven't seen enough of it. That's what I expected to see far more of from Everton in this second half. Players like Ndiaye, Jack Grealish on the ball, taking on Chelsea. Ndiaye does so well on the left-hand side here, and he gets past everyone. And his shot to goal, like he's trying to place it into that far post, and he just slightly, places it too well against the post and straight back out into play. And unfortunately for Everton, there was no one following up to be able to tap it into an empty goal.
Cucurella goes back to Chalobah, and now it's with Sanchez. 2.5 minutes of the 90 left to play. Chelsea's next game is a tasty one, away to Cardiff City in the League Cup quarter-finals on Tuesday. And then they travel to St James's Park for the lunchtime game next weekend. Newcastle have a big game of their own tomorrow in the Tyne-Wear derby, as cross from the right from O'Brien is cleared, and it's picked up by Keane, and it's a late rally this from Everton. Have they left it too late though? You would have thought so. 2-0 down, 2 minutes of normal time left to play. Mikalenko digs the pass infield from the left wing to Iliman Ndiaye, and then a nice quick bit of feet from Gay, and here goes Mikalenko, low ball in, Alcaraz should have scored, hit it into Trevor Chalobah. He gets the congratulations from his Chelsea teammates, but I don't think it was a good finish from Carlos Alcaraz.
I think he does everything right, Alcaraz. I don't think there's much else he can do. I think it's just absolutely brilliant defending from Trevor Chalobah. Does so well. He just times it perfectly, stays big, comes out for the block, and that is a vital block for Chelsea. I know there's only a couple of minutes left, but that would have made it very uncomfortable for Chelsea.
90 seconds left to play of the 90 minutes as the corner comes in, and it's poked behind by Michael Keane, so it will be a goal kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, the question is, where has that Everton been? This last couple of minutes, they've really, I know the game goes on and players drop off a little bit and the intensity drops a bit, and you're thinking, right, you've got this game won, but Everton had 2 really big chances there to get themselves back in this game. It's certainly to put pressure on Chelsea and see how nervous they might have been for the last couple of minutes had they have got one back.
They face London opposition in their next game as well to Everton. They host Arsenal at 8 o'clock next Saturday night, and then it's Burnley and Nottingham Forest to come in December for the Toffees. Such a congested mid-table area that there's a load of sides that will be looking up and thinking about maybe Europa League or Conference League football, and also know that a couple of bad results, they might need to start looking over their shoulders as well. It's that concertinaed in the Premier League this season. Gittins for Chelsea with 20 seconds of normal time left, and Chelsea 2-0 up. Ball towards Esteval, arriving, his header back across goal is cleared away by Keane. Found himself in a good area there, Esteval, arriving late in the day, but didn't get enough contact on the header. We'll wait to see how much added time will be shown by the fourth official, because we're into the last seconds of normal time now, and the answer is a minimum of 4 added minutes. So Everton have got their work cut out to get anything out of this game, and that signal of 4 added minutes is the cue for a few of the home fans to start to make their way for the exits.
Yeah, you've seen this last couple of minutes, there's been chances at both ends. Everton obviously had the better ones, could have easily have got a goal back. I always wonder, I know you want to beat the rush, but why would you go early?
I don't know, maybe they've got dinner booked like you have.
I do, but I'm not going early.
Leave me to hold the fort for the remaining minutes, but no, there is a mass exodus now, and it's Chelsea's last home game before Christmas, so seen a few fans in front of us exchanging Christmas messages and Christmas cards before they head off into the West London night, and they are set to celebrate a Chelsea win, because it's 2-0 and we've got 3 minutes of added time left, although Ndiaye has got it for Everton. Ndiaye, who hit the post a short time ago for the Toffees, He's pushed out wide by Malo Gusto. Irabunim's there. Irabunim's lost out to Pedro Neto, and now the Chelsea counter might be on, although Neto is surging forwards on his Todd for now. Gittins trying to get up there. Neto, has he overrun it? Gay got something on it. Andre Santos, good pass. Here's Gittins outside the area, low dragged effort wide of the upright.
Yeah, there's been lots of missed opportunities from both sides today, haven't there? It could have easily been a far higher scoreline. Both sides have created some decent chances, and the game's certainly entertaining towards the end.
Well, Chelsea, as I say, will find themselves up into the top four this evening, and I think that, reading between the lines, that is seen as the sort of par achievement for this season for Chelsea, is to make sure that they are in the Champions League again next season.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, first season back in the Champions League for a little bit. They've had a hectic summer, and I think if they can do well in the Champions League, get through to the knockout stages, qualify again once again for the Champions League for next season, I think they've done okay. But you know what, there's still so much football to be played between now and the end of the season, and I don't think anyone's conceding anything to anyone just yet.
Well, the spotlight will be on them at Cardiff City in the League Cup next week, because that's one that they'll be fully expected to come through with ease and get themselves into the semi-finals of a major competition. Here goes Mikalenko on the left, and his ball in, doesn't have enough height to clear Fofana. Fofana's not really put a foot wrong this afternoon. The Chelsea centre-backs have actually both been impressive, Chalobah and Fofana. Last minute of added time to play now at the Bridge.
Yeah, you're right. The two centre-backs have done well. I think as a whole, Chelsea overall have I think defended pretty well today. Chalobah in particular has made some really, really crucial interceptions, some really big blocks in key moments.
Well, like you say, he has gone from being sent out on loan to Crystal Palace, recalled around about this time last year, and has been a mainstay in the side ever since, really. Mark Cucurella just being calmed down by Reece James, because he was interested in maybe having a bit of a spat with Tyler Dibbling there, but the captain's gone across to just ward that off.
One thing is, he's certainly feisty.
Yep, absolutely. But the whistle will go imminently, and Chelsea will be celebrating going fourth in the Premier League table tonight. Sanchez sends it long upfield. It nearly goes straight out of play, but it's kept in across on the left wing by Enzo Fernandez. Comes off Gittins last, and there is the full-time whistle. Well, a regulation 2-0 win for Chelsea in the end. Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto with the goals, both of them coming in the first half, and that meant that the second half was a bit of a stroll really for Enzo Maresca's men. A couple of slightly awkward moments now and then, especially when the post was rattled by Illiman and Jai towards the end of the game, but overall, Mark Schwarzer, a deserved 3 points for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think over the course of the 90 minutes, Chelsea were the better side. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. But, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win games. They did see it through today. They could have won it more comfortably. Everton also could have scored and made it uncomfortable and possibly even got something out of this game. But overall, I think the team that played the best won and deserved to win today.
And for Chelsea, it was important to get that victory under their belts when you think about the slightly sticky patch that they've been on recently.
Yeah, I think that's really important. It's important for anyone. That momentum, confidence. This is coming up to a very busy period of the season. It's a difficult one. There's so many games, festive period, obviously, and I think for Chelsea to get a bit of momentum now. A lot can happen over this period of time, and the season can be defined by performances through this period.
Having a quick look at Everton, obviously they've been on this very impressive run of form, winning 4 of their last 5 games in the Premier League, but just never really got going. But obviously the mitigating factor of losing a key man like Dewsbury Hall,
I think that made a massive impact on the game. I think they lost obviously a key player. The connection between the wide players and midfield was lost a little bit. First half, like I said before in the commentary, they were far better playing the ball out wide, hurting Chelsea out wide. Second half, they stopped doing that. They lost a little bit of energy, and I think that suited Chelsea down to the ground. And either side could have easily have added to the scoreline in the second half. But in the end, I think it was a pretty fair result.
And Everton, overall, it's still been a good season for them. When you look at the Premier League table, they are down only in 8th position at the moment and still within striking distance of the European places. And David Moyes, who's normally quite cautious, has sort of said, well, actually, maybe this is the season that we can have a tilt at trying to get into Europe. But it just shows how tricky it is, because instead of going 4th, they now could find themselves in the bottom half of the table, considering how other results go tomorrow.
I think that just goes to show you how tight the league is, and of course they're not even halfway yet. So Everton have been in the position that they're in, less than halfway through the season, is really positive. It's great signs for them, and they've had a setback today. It wasn't their best performance, but they just got to pick themselves up and keep going, and there's so much football to be played. The home stadium obviously has become a fortress. They need to maintain that. And I think Everton still easily could finish in Europe. It's just, it really is about picking themselves up after a disappointing performance today.
Mark, thank you so much for your time, and as everyone else here is wishing each other a Merry Christmas, I wish you a very Merry Christmas as well.
Thank you very much, and I wish you one as well, and to everyone listening.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark. So that's Mark Schwarzer with us here at Stamford Bridge on 5 Live Sports Extra, where it's finished Chelsea 2, Everton 0 in the Premier League. The other Premier League game this afternoon is still ongoing. Liverpool, though, are heading for the points. They lead Brighton and Hove Albion by 2-0. Hugo Ekitike with both of the goals in that game. Full commentary of Burnley against Fulham is upcoming for you at 5:30 on 5 Live. There's one other game tonight in the Premier League. Arsenal, the leaders, against rock-bottom Wolverhampton Wanderers, which begins at 8 o'clock. In the Scottish Premiership, it finished Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0, Livingston 2, Dundee 2. Falkirk against Hearts kicks off at 8 o'clock. The Championship full times are coming in. The earlier kickoffs ended Norwich 2, Southampton 1, Oxford United 1, Preston North End 2, and Stoke City 2, Swansea City 1. Birmingham have drawn 1-1 with Charlton. Coventry have beaten Bristol City by 1-0. Leicester City leading Ipswich 3-1 deep into added time. Middlesbrough have beaten QPR. Hull are 3-1 up at Millwall in injury time. Portsmouth leading Blackburn by 2-1 again in injury time, as is Wrexham against Watford with the score 2-2 in that one as well. But that is about it from us here at Stamford Bridge on BBC 5 Sports Extra, but the action keeps on coming for you. We are going to switch sports now and move into rugby union. We have live rugby union commentary of Bordeaux Beglers against Scarlets in the European Champions Cup.